coming out here. I don't normally say that about the hero, but in this case, there's so much value in it. You're going to be eating through that Sven quite well. Of course, the more strength he gets, the better you are. As Lifestealer, you kind of eat through his armor as well, so you're kind of happy. He has a natural vehicle in that Earthshaker, in the Batrider, in the Ember Spirit as well, and even the Treant if he wants to be walking around Invis. So you have all of those options as vehicles. You have great value from what you're playing against. RNG does close out quite nicely with that OD. I mean, that's really going to put a strain on FNATIC, especially if the game goes late. All of these heroes don't really scale with Int quite well, and it's going to be annoying for them to deal with Setsu if he does find that farm. The issue is, can RNG find that farm this time around? They might be able to. You have great supports now from that AA and Jakiro, who again can apply that pressure. You have that Abaddon as well, that can just pretty much stay alive. It's almost, it kind of draws parallels to that Game 1 draft, doesn't it? Instead of the Omni Knight, you have the Abaddon, but it's almost that same Tricore coming out from RNG, and we'll see if they manage to fix out that execution this time around.
Very intrigued indeed. I won't ever give up. I mean, they're pretty much sticking with the exact same strategy. Just essentially farming up till that mid to late game, until they're up and running. FNATIC going to be running at you early on, trying to make something happen. That core Abaddon from Flyby, we'll see how effective it is. We have seen it before, and it can be very, very annoying to be up against in that safe lane, just because he keeps running at you. Just never seems to stop. And of course, if things get a bit too scary, he can always go for the deny attempt with that miscoil. Just not much FNATIC can do about that. But we'll get into it. The final game of this series, of course, straight after this, John, we'll be casting the losers of both series that were on just then. And there was a decider for the other series already. And in case you don't want to hear it, I recommend muting for just a few seconds. But Secret, of course, did end up beating Pain in their own series. So, loser of this will verse Pain in the next series that will be up on this channel.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one to watch, of course. Pain, pretty much the underdogs, you have to admit, in this tournament. So it's gonna be interesting to see how they fare against either of these teams who have been showing up for the past few games.
Well, they can definitely surprise us, though. So can either of these sides as well. I've been having a lot of fun with these voice lines. It's like jabs on that the Treant Protector. Gonna be heading down around that bot jungle area for the moment, trying to play some pretty deep wards. But he might rotate to mid and go for an early courier snipe in that mid lane. Though no, he will run the other way. MP as well and that Lifesteal are going to be down to the bot lane. So as it stands right now, it looks like they are going to run a trial lane. They'll leave Ice on that Batrider up the safe lane of the Dire. Flyby literally just runs past jabs and gets the boundary rune. And that'll be 3 boundary runes to the way of RNG as well. A great little start for the side of the Radiant.
Definitely is, and a bit of a mistake from FNATIC, I suppose. It's a nice gold injection for RNG. And that does help out the mid, especially. Just make sure that you can ferry off that early piece of regen right as the lane starts. So, you know, we're going to have Setsu with just a bit more. Just an additional salve to help in this lane.
Up against Abed on that Ember. Can be dangerous, but Setsu should have a decent enough time on the OD. Especially once you get a couple more levels up. Though again, you do always have that kill potential with Abed on that Ember Spirit as well, so you're going to be very wary of that. Of course, up at the top lane, again, Lan M is going to be on that Jakiro up against Ice right now, though you do have the core Abaddon rotating over. So that really, in terms of kill potential, I imagine Ice will probably be pretty safe on this Batrider against these two heroes.
He should be safe. At the same time, this is probably a lane where the Batrider actually can't get too much work done. Again, down to the Abaddon's Aphotic Shield. Just that Dispel every single time is, you know, going to cancel out a lot of your damage.
Fu going to get ganked up bot lane. Does get a nice fish rod from DJ, though Stormhammer comes in and Monet trying to block them off, but they will eventually find the kill. Jab's picking that one up, and now Monet going to be in trouble. DJ doesn't have another fish for quite a bit of time. But First Blood will go the way of FNATIC early on in this game number 3. And in fact, Jab's running back in now. Monet has to be very wary. DJ has the Fisher, though, holds onto it for the moment. They do see LANM rotating back in on that Jakiro, and that'll be enough for them to back off.
Yeah, I do like seeing this aggression from FNATIC again. They're committing a lot of resources to shut down the safe lane, but it should be worthwhile. We have seen Sven's, when they don't hit that timing, it is very hard for them to kind of play catch-up. I mean, they can farm the jungle quite fast, but you want to be sort of active early with Sven. He's just really strong. And not having him in those team fights it's a lot to be missing on the map.
Mid lane, Fisher comes out from DJ Setsu. He gets the Astral off onto Abed. Abed thinking about the chase, though, doesn't really have chains available right now. Just throws out the Sleight of Fist, and with that, DJ will have to back off. It's one of those things with the Ember as well, like early on, you don't see them skilling up chains very often anymore, but it does mean that you can't really go for these kills. Unless you have just constant disable from your supports. That will mean DJ, he's going to rotate up top with this Earthshaker now. Of course, they already rotated Jabs up top on the tree and Protector, and they are going to go for Monet on that Sven. So DJ, taking his time. Do spot out Arfu on the AA now as well. Arfu apparently going to be the target. They will get started with the Leech Seed, and now the Fisher comes in as well. Arfu being blocked up by DJ, although LANM, he'll TP in. The Cold Feet will freeze up DJ. Monet now going to turn this one around. They do end up fighting Arfu, but they end up losing DJ in the process. Now we have a bit of a trade harassment between Monet and MP, but that'll pretty much be it. Just 2 supports going down, and the rest back off.
It is, again, equal aggression from both sides this time. Both of them really wanting to find those trades in this lane. They want their cores to be able to find that early farm, because the cores this time around are pretty explosive. The Lifestealer and that Sven want that early farm, want to be able to apply some good team fights in the mid-game, and that means both teams will just not give them an easy time to find that.
Setsu almost going down in the mid lane a couple times, but he does manage to salve up and he'll be okay. Again, it's just that presence of DJ on the Earthshaker being very scary for him. Top lane is a bit of a tri-lane being run now by RNG up against MP and Jabs. You'll see once again that Earthshaker rotating over. So LANM should be able to spot him out. DJ gonna start running in. They're gonna go after LANM on that Jakiro first. They do get the root off. Now the Leech Seed as well. Where is the Fisher? Not quite yet out, but now it is. But it is way too late. He didn't quite find a block, and with that, they're gonna turn around onto Jabs now. Jabs actually getting blocked off. He will go invis though with the Nature's Geist, and LANM still gonna be in trouble. Another Leech Seed comes out, and MP gonna be able to chase him down. But Monet wants the trade with the Stormhammer of his own, and it looks like he probably will find it. Although no Fog coming into play. Jabs, he will go invis as well. Oh, Monet. He just couldn't get the animation off in time. And MP chasing down Arfu. Of course, he is just trying to get that boundary up at the top lane, though it will get sniped from him. LANM picks it up, and now Arfu going for the other one. MP trying to desperately beat him out. Nice fish from DJ, though. It looks like MP does manage to pick it up. And with that, they will back off, back to the waves to farm up a bit more.
I do like this aggression. Like, it's nice to see that RNG is running that combination with the AA this time around. Of course, Afu's not having a great time. Still stuck at level 1, but when you get those stuns off, it really does the work for RNG.
Jabs. Cold Feet. Not going to tick him out. A lot of damage being dealt towards MP and Jabs, and they'll rotate over to that shrine. Heal themselves up. More Abed struggling up against Setsu on that OD. In fact, he's struggling a lot. About 6 last hits behind the OD, and just with that Astral Spam coming out, Abed, he's going to try and do some harassment. Sanity is being dropped. Now Fisher comes out, though. DJ setting up for his side. But again, Abed, he doesn't have chains yet, so he can't really hold this OD down. But you do have Ice just rotating in. He does find the kill, but Abed actually ends up going down as well to Setsu. And a bit of a misplay coming out from our Ember Spirit. Meanwhile, top lane, Stormhammer coming out. They will find Arfu on the AA, but they will lose Jabs in the process. That'll make it a 3-5 early on. FNATIC with a very, very slight lead on the Dire side. In fact, hold that thought, because DJ now Gonna run past Monet and Lan M, but he gets stunned up. With that, Fisher does end up connecting, of course, but it will not matter. Monet will find another kill on the Sven.
This early aggression really being a back and forth for both teams. We're already at 9 kills overall, 4-5 at 6 minutes in, and it's still not clear who's really winning out. Sure, you have a slight lead going for FNATIC right now, but at this point, that really doesn't matter for much.
Well, they are going to go again, top lane, MP. Thinking about going on Lan M. Jabs looking to set up on Monet and does get the root off, and now Monet going to be the target. Fisher does connect as well. He does have the Stormhammer available, but just holds on to it until the rage wears off, and with that, he times it perfectly. Jabs cops the gold feet, has to back off. Nice little save there from RNG's side.
Definitely is, and that was fairly early rage usage from MP, but he did seem pressured to do so. They are forced to shrine up, so that tool's not going to be available anymore for RNG, and that does open some opportunities for FNATIC to exploit this time around.
You know, the one thing we haven't really talked about too much is flyby on this Abaddon. Now, he's been kind of flying under the radar a bit, but he's top of the net worth board on that position 3 Abaddon. How scary do you think this might turn out to be for FNATIC later on?
It's going to be a pain to deal with flyby, for sure. He's already going to be taking away a lot of utility from that Bite Rider pickup you have on Ice Ice Ice. The fact that he's still finding this farm as well, because it basically right now, both offlaners are just having creep skipping.
Oh, Ice 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 going in for that lasso in the mid lane. There are rotations coming in, but they found Setsu, and with that, Setsu still surviving. There's that Aphotic Shield coming into play. Jabs now has to get the hell out of there, but he gets Astraled up. Ice 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 looking to turn around, but he doesn't have Firefly any longer, and Jabs will end up going down. Flyby just continuing to move forward. He will get out of there, but now Arbet will remnant back in. There's no real target to go for himself, though. Ice 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 does land the Flame Break on Lan M and does do a hell of a lot of damage with that sticky napalm. But it will not be enough. And so it looked like it was going to be a guaranteed kill on Setsu, but even the lasso proving to not be long enough duration to actually get the kill.
It's down to that level 1 duration, right? It's just 3 seconds at level 1, 3.5 at 2, even at level 3. You know, level 3 is where it's best at 4 seconds, but still, you're riding a lot on that one piece of control. You really need good follow-up from DJ, who is caught out.
Yeah. He kind of just ran down towards the Radiant Shrine, trying to see if he could pick somebody off. Wasn't the case, and does end up costing him his life, and that'll make it a 6-5 now, RNG's way. Looks like Arbed can't even farm up the mid lane anymore, up against Setsu's OD either, so things are starting to turn a bit south here for FNATIC. Flyby, going to be the target of a gank here from Jabs, but he has the borrowed time available, and even without it, the Aphotic Shield just going to be too much. The MP, still considering a chase, but what do you even do? They get the root off, borrowed time being popped as well, and with that borrowed time down, they might be able to go for this now. Flyby, though, does get the drums on the courier. Yeah, he's not planning to back off, he's just got way too much sustain. Meanwhile, mid lane, Ice 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 will end up losing his life to Monet. Arbet needs to get himself out, and looks like he'll just walk out of there safely. Now, a bit of a fight over some banner runes. Jabs going for a TP play, and we'll be able to make it, just barely. It'll be 3 banner runes to 1, which is in the side of FNATIC as well. So they do get at least a bit of a gold boost for themselves on the Dire side.
They are down 7-5 now, and the lead does swing the way of RNG. Just slightly. Again, it's not a significant lead at this point in the game, 10 minutes in, but it does tell you a bit more as to the state of the game. Now, looking at net worth as well, you are seeing Flyby and Monet up there, having a good time for themselves, especially that Abaddon. Just really no response from FNATIC towards this hero.
Arbed. Mid lane, John, just underneath that T2 tower. Ice Path connects, and Monet has the follow-up. Sanity's Eclipse being dropped, and Setsu finds it. Did he even have a remnant out somewhere? I don't... Oh, there was one in the Radiant Jungle, but looks like he wasn't able to get it off in time. Afu, bot lane, does survive. MP couldn't get the damage off in time on the Lifestealer. And thinks about chasing Flyby. In fact, he's going to go back in after this. Jabs is there on the Treant, though doesn't get the root off either. He didn't go invis in time. Let's get it off this time around. The borrow time is again available. Now Lan M will come in. Throws out the dual breath, MP. Gonna be okay. He still has the rage available on that lifestealer. Meanwhile, mid lane, Setsu again going to be the target of a gank. Ice, he has the lasso, he comes straight in, and this time around they will end up finally getting Setsu. Bot lane as well, they commit the ultimate from the tree, and they do end up finding Flyby after the borrowed time was expended. Now LANM going to be chased down by NP. And I imagine NP will not stop diving for this kill. LANM doesn't really have a way out. They get the root off from jabs. And he's got to kind of just try and juke them around a bit, waste a bit of time, but he does eventually go down.
It's probably the most even start to the game we've seen yet, Mike. 8-8, 1K lead again for FNATIC this time, and you know it's good to see both teams really playing this way. But it seems like they understand each other at this point. They know what each side is doing. They're exploiting each other's weaknesses, and it's bringing us to a very close match so far.
That is certainly correct. Of course, you do see MP out on the top of the net worth board now, but Monet is closely following. There will be a smoke though from RNG. They do spot out DJ up at the top lane, and LANM going to start moving in. He does have Arfu behind him. They do find Ice with the Jewel Breath, but can they actually stop him? The answer is absolutely not. Ice just walk back. But again, I feel like RNG don't really care about this. Like, they'd rather be reactive than proactive in this game. Again, you've got the OD, you've got the Sven. You're more than happy to take a late if necessary, and it looks like that's exactly what they're planning to do.
It's almost the same story from game number 2, right? Where you sure you lose a bit of ground in RNG, but your cores are still finding that farm. They're not really under pressure. You lost Setsu a couple of times, but he's still farming up quite well in this OD. So you're really not too worried.
Flyby could be in trouble. LANM as well. Ice is waiting in the tree line with the Batrider. There is a TP in from Arbed as well. It looks like Arfu will be the target. They commit the lasso on Arfu. He will end up losing his life on the AA, and it looks like that's all FNATIC wants. They can't really go for anything else without that lasso. And yeah, that'll be it. They'll just back off.
They're going to grab that tier 1 down bot thanks to MP, and that's a tower for a tower trade at the very least. So you are still even. Still pretty much dead even in terms of map control as well.
Oh, they have down Ice. Monet pops the God Strength though. Firefly is already going. Ice will just back out of there pretty safely. While all that was going on, you do see the blink come out on DJ though on that Earthshaker. Now that is a very game-changing item to pick up on this hero. That could make all the difference FNATIC is really wanting for these fights that they're having.
It certainly feels like it, right? You normally don't see FNATIC just kind of pace this game like this. So it's probably the blink. And on a hero like Earthshaker, with a player like DJ, you're going to be really seeing a lot of plays coming out from this guy. He's going to have to set up these fights for FNATIC and give them that momentum they still kind of need. It's still way too even for them to be comfy.
Well, bot lane Arfu going to be surrounded, though Monet now does show his face as well. Jabs. Going to just chill around Arfu. Keep scouting him out. Rest of FNATIC are starting to move in as well. And it's that 15-minute banner rune mark, though. FNATIC kind of just walk past them. They want Monet instead. In fact, no, they'll pop the ultimate onto AA once again, so Arfu may go down, though Monet going to be the real target. They bounce back up, Echo being committed as well. They just want to secure this Sven kill. Monet, so tanky, but not tanky enough. He does lose his life. They will end up finding the AA Arfu as well. They do lose Ice in the progress up at the top lane, but you don't really care about that. I mean, Monet was the main target. So they'll be happy with that.
Definitely so, and again, back to 9-11 now, 15 minutes in. 1K network lead for FNATIC. It's just break even. We still haven't even really felt any big team fight just yet, although it might be breaking out down mid. We have 3 heroes defending.
Setsu, he just picked up that Blink Dagger, gets the Astral off, but do they have the lockdown? No, they will not. Monet, he wasn't in position. LANM didn't even throw the Ice Path out. Perhaps understanding FNATIC were nearby and they didn't want to really risk it. A full pipe now as well, coming out onto Flyby on that Abaddon. And Flyby has just continuously farmed up. Like, he is not joining if he doesn't need to. Bot lane, they will end up finding Arfu once again, and they really don't like this AA. Though mid lane, Monet gonna be in trouble, and will again end up losing his life. Now Arbed looking for the next target, and he does see Setsu and Lan M. Won't bother trying to make the chase. He didn't have much mana left anyway. We're 9-13 now for FNATIC. Still a 1k net worth lead their way. Finding these important pickoffs on the Sven is really what they need to keep doing.
Definitely is. You need to see the Sven put down under. We have seen it when it's shut down, it doesn't get to do much at all, especially if its BKB timing is just way off, and everyone else has kind of built up. On the other hand, for RNG, I mean, you mentioned it before, Flyby is farming up well, and we have seen moments where a farmed Abaddon is a bit too much to deal with going into that mid-game. It's just that, at this point, I'm not sure if this is really enough for you to be comfy as RNG. You want your Sven to be up there in terms of farm, not your Abaddon.
Well, they'll go ahead and claim that T1 mid tower. No defense coming out from FNATIC at all. FNATIC probably waiting for MP to pick up that Radiance. He has got the Radiance recipe already in the backpack. He just needs that Sacred Relic, and he is going to be about 300 gold off now, so it won't be too long at all for that. That is the real item pickup they're waiting for. Not to mention, of course, Arbed as well. He's about to pick up a Maelstrom on himself. Just needs that Mithril Hammer. About 700 gold for him before he picks that up. It looks like, though, RNG wanting to push right here, right now. Setting up for that bot T1 push. You do have FNATIC around that area, and they do have Echo Slam available as well. That Radiance just popping up now on MP. So they may be willing to go for this defense attempt, and it looks like they are. Jabs moving in for that Overgrowth, though the Sentry Ward does scout him out. It does also wear off. MP showing off his new Radiance. So RNG will get the point in the end. In fact, Jabs trying to find a target now for them to punish. Monet would be another nice one again. In fact, Overgrowth is available. Jabs, they have actually found one on the Batrider, though. Overgrowth is out. Setsu, he'll find Ice Size. Now they're looking for more. Ice Blast will come out, but misses everything. Arbed just trying to back out of there. MP going to be chased down by Flyby now, though. Infest comes out on Jabs, and he's just sitting there invis. Arbed now fighting everyone by himself, though. He may just end up dying, but no, FNATIC, they'll get started again. Arbed loses his life. Setsu going to be the target. MP will turn around onto Monet instead. DJ still has Echo Slam available, has not thrown it out. Now a lasso and Echo comes out of DJ. They'll find Monet. Flyby still looking very, very healthy with that borrowed time. It looks like Setsu gonna keep chasing down Ice, but he gets away with the Firefly. In fact, no, Arfu, he'll find him out. Cold Feet will come out, and now Setsu jumps in for the Arcane Orbs. FNATIC not looking so great, but they're still going. Flyby gonna start chasing down MP now as well. MP does not have Infest available, but an Ice Path coming out and connecting on two. Ice Blast will not connect that Rage, just saving him, but they do at least get the passive off. And now MP just a sitting duck. Setsu's there with the OD. Flyby still chasing him up, although MP somehow still managed to juke it out just a bit. But one more Arcane Orb will do it. Here comes Arbed, though, with the Fissure as well. MP loses his life. Arbed trying to find the OD, but now he's trapped up. Where's the Remnants? He hasn't got any available, and Setsu finds him. Jabs, meanwhile, gets dusted up, and he's gone as well, surely. Flyby trying to find him. Jabs going for the TP play, and it looks like he will get out in the end. But what a fight from RNG.
Oh man, that was just such a long, protracted fight, and in the end, RNG does come out on top. Again, with the heroes they have, it's just hard to deal with. You have an Abaddon who basically has 2 lives. You have a Sven who makes everyone tankier every 24 seconds now. It's just hard to play into that, especially with what you have in FNATIC right now. We saw DJ blink in, get the echo off on basically, what was it, 2 heroes? Not the best use of that skill, and RNG has been playing around these threats quite well. They haven't been clumping up. They haven't been giving any easy opening to FNATIC. And that just makes it very awkward for FNATIC to initiate, but they have to. Because again, their lineup kind of comes online pretty early. They can't survive too late up against what RNG has. But RNG is fully aware of that this time around, and they're spacing themselves out near perfectly.
Yeah, you're going to have a BKB coming up on Monet soon as well, which is going to make matters a lot worse for FNATIC. Still a bit of time to go for that, but Monet is starting to really escalate in farm. You still do have MP at the top of the net worth board, but It's a lifestealer. I mean, they just get juked around and kited around so much. It's really hard to get any work done unless you have the lockdown, which they do on FNATIC. It's just a matter of landing all of it perfectly. Lan M. Gonna get spotted by Jabs. Does get the Rod of Atos. He just dropped the Sentry Ward down. Ice Blast comes out as well. Jabs probably just gonna end up dying here, and he will. They won't find the courier. The only information Jabs got was there's a Sentry Ward there.
It's not looking smooth for FNATIC at all. This is in stark contrast to Game 1. Even Game 2 kind of looked good for a while, right? At this point in the game. This time around, the score is still way too even. The net rate's still way too even. This is not the sort of games FNATIC plays. And I have a feeling that the longer this game goes, the worse it gets. Because RNG, we saw it in Game 2. They like running these drafts that go late. And FNATIC, if they miss that momentum, they just have no way to recover. Especially with the heroes they've drafted this time around. You do have some ways, especially with this Ember Spirit, but it takes a lot of risk to really bounce back that way.
Certainly
And
does.
The itemization.
And Arbed, he finally gets that Maelstrom up now on the Ember, but he's going straight for an Aghanim Scepter next. Which we have seen be very effective, considering how far he can throw those remnants after he's got it. Definitely not the most usual item pickup this early on for an Ember, but it looks like Arbed feels as if it's necessary.
We've seen this kind of build from Embers before, I believe in a different tournament, and we only saw it once. But it does come out,
lane.
and...
They found the lasso. They got the OD. Setsu, that's a massive kill, and they pick it up. Can they find Arfu? Chains was used by Arbed, but he didn't have the vision. Nevertheless, they get the T1 mid-tower, but a bit of a shame that they couldn't find that secondary AA kill. Nevertheless, I'm sure they'll still be very, very satisfied with Setsu going down on the OD. RNG now are kind of positioned to go for a fight on the high ground. Jabs gonna try and scout out Monet, but there is a Sentry Ward up above that high ground, and Jabs gonna use the Overgrowth. Though where's the rest of the team? They're not even here anymore. Jabs is the only one left, and he does end up going down.
That's a word he sacrificed. You know there's a lot of heroes around. You know there's no salvaging that situation, so might as well just sacrifice your POTS 5. Not the biggest deal in the world, and save yourselves. And you do manage to do that. It's a decent enough play. But yeah, going back to the state of the game, 16-16 at 24 minutes in. Mike, how even is this game? Like, what are the chances of each side winning? Right now, Dota Plus has it at 59% for RNG, 41% for FNATIC, but before that, it's been fairly dead center. So it's just been it's been a really calculated game from both sides.
Yeah, and that bonus percentage you see there from Dota Plus probably going to be just due to that draft from RNG. Understanding that they can just generally take it later. In fact, Setsu jumps in. DJ dodges, though. Just barely doesn't get astraled by that OD. Quick reactions there from DJ. RNG, though, still looking for another target. They do have all their ultimates available, where they know the Overgrowth isn't available on the side of FNATIC. Lan M, Rod of Atos, does get dodged by Ice. Now he realizes he has to get the hell out of there. Bot lane, though, Flyby getting caught out, or getting spotted, but he's just such a hard target to go on. Like, he buys so much time on the Abaddon that it will allow the rest of the team to kind of jump in and help him out, so there's just no point even trying for this kill. And they probably won't, FNATIC. They'll go for the bounty runes down at the bot lane. They'll just leave Flyby be. Speaking of Flyby, it looks like he's going for a Radiance himself on the Abaddon. Meanwhile, MP does pick up a Heaven's Halberd now on the Lifestealer, so that's going to make Sven's life a lot more difficult in these team fights. Both teams just flexing in the mid lane a bit. RNG. Looks like they'll go for a bit of a smoke rotation here. There is one sitting there on Arfu. Flyby. We'll scout out Ice on the Bat Rider. RNG, they may just wait it out. I mean, the Radiance is going to be coming up pretty darn soon on Flyby. Like, he only needs about 700 gold now to pick up the recipe. already having that Sacred Relic, so there's really no need to rush this.
Again, even in terms of what RNG needs to achieve right now, there's really no rush from these guys. The onus is on FNATIC to find that aggression early on. They are grouping up down bot, but the stun doesn't really land.
Yeah. Bishop not connecting. Setsu just walks himself out. Well, run of Atos, but that was just on an illusion from Arfu. Speaking of Arfu, he does opt to go for the Yule Scepter first before the Aghanim Scepter, which I do feel like is a pretty smart choice to make. Definitely want to be able to be a bit more elusive on this hero, rather than just go just straight for the Ags. Bot lane, looks like there might be a very big engagement. Flyby, just again flexing in front of MP. MP does not want to bar of this, so now they are chasing RNG. They pop the drums. They really want this lifestealer pick off. They've got to wait out that rage though, and he does just go rage TP. DJ will just TP himself as well, and they will find nothing.
Huh. It's really been like this for the past, I want to say 5 minutes at the very least. Just constant roaming around, not really finding those kills, and really safe plays from both sides. Both sides really not willing to give the other an opening, which is fair. You can see where they're coming from. I just think it's a bit odd that FNATIC themselves are playing this way, because this is in stark contrast to how they were playing first 2 games, where it was constant aggression. Maybe game 2 they slowed down a bit, but you know, just early on you saw a lot more activity from FNATIC, whereas this time around they're just kind of content playing the farm game, except their draft doesn't feel like it should be playing the farm game.
Well, they're going to lose 2 towers down at that bot lane, the T1 and T2 going down now. They may be able to claim the T2 up at the top lane, and it looks like MP will go clear that up. So you do have Flyby TPing in, and they do fortify as well, so they're not going to allow this. Rest of RNG not in a position to go for a fight, so they're going to run their way towards that mid lane, but there is a smoke coming out now from FNATIC. They find Monet does run straight past. Did they really not spot him out? Jabs surely sees him, but no, not quite yet. Rest of RNG are here anyway. Monet, Stormhammer will connect on Jabs. Should be a nice, easy kill. The Ice Path as well connecting. FNATIC just no way to save this, although Overgrowth again being committed. I mean, I realize it's not the highest cooldown in the world, but he is using that rather... just kind of throwing that out every time he's in trouble. It didn't really look like there was a chance he was going to survive anyway.
That was pretty optimistic. Oh.
Mid lane, they do get the lasso off at the very least, but it is only on Lan M, and now the Rod of Atos Ice Path comes in. RNG moving their way in as well, trying to find a target to go on. MP going to get started on Lan M, but he's still taking a lot. He will eventually go down. Monet does not bother popping that BKB and going for the fight. He doesn't have God Strength yet. Boo now going to end up dying as well. And it looks like without the God Strength, just nobody was willing to go for the fight on RNG, and they just don't get out in time either.
Now it looks like FNATIC's going to be setting themselves up for a bit more punishment or a push. It looks like they are going to try to chase down the 2 cores they left out, although the TPs are coming out for Monet.
Setsu has one available as well, but we'll just opt to get the ultimate orb first, and he's just going to take his time with this. He does spot himself, and now MP. Open wounds are there, but the BKB TP is available from Setsu, and that's exactly what he'll do. That was his 10-second charge.
We've seen that many times now, where the 10-second charge has to be expended on these defensive sort of plays. Not ideal. It's never ideal to spend your BKB this way, but sometimes you're just forced in a position where you have to, and again, neither side is taking these risks. I mean, on paper, it looks like we have a pretty active game, 17-18. It's been a very calculated set of kills so far.
RNG again starting to posture in that mid lane. Monet looking at Arbed, though Ice Blast will not connect on anything, and they will not make the jump in. Behind them, though, they do get a lasso off onto Arfu, but he survives thanks to the Aphotic Shield. And now Ice getting caught out. The Infest Bomb not being successful. Monet now going for another target on Arfu, though he's going to pick one. MP, he'll be the secondary target, but he's just running his way out. Well, they just miss a lot of attacks, and in the end, he will barely get out on the Lifestealer. Hardly any HP. RNG will get nothing out of that engagement either.
They at least force out the BKB from, I believe that was Ice Ice. Yeah, that was his own 10-second charge. So that's out of the pool at least for RNG. And again, just slow the game down a bit more. Every time this happens, it just favors RNG though. Like you are seeing Setsu grow bigger and bigger. He has that side of Vice now, and you see Monet, who has had that Manta style for a while, is building into that AC, and once that's up, you're gonna have a lot of issues with controlling the Sven.
Flyby, nice smoke break there. Runs into the Roshan pit and breaks the smoke of FNATIC. You did see the Aghanim Scepter coming out now on Arbet as well. Still, how much of a difference that's going to make is another story, but he does jump in mid lane. Flyby now going to be aware that the Aghanim Scepter is up. Top lane as well. Ice Ice thinking about pushing in that tier 2 tower that's still standing on 145 HP. Just can't really get that job done with the Batrider, so he's just going to hide in the tree line for a bit, and then eventually we'll run back towards the jungle.
You know, I want to talk about that Ags pickup on Abed. We've seen this multiple times before. This time around, he does have some backup items for it, but we're approaching that point in the game where the late game heroes will start to shine, and BKBs are going to be ubiquitous across both teams. You're not going to be doing as much damage as you would with those Fire Remnants now. I'm keen to see how Abed actually takes his skill tree once he hits 25. Is he going to opt for Sleight of Fist charges? Or with the Ags, is he just going to go for the Remnant charge? Because it makes sense to go for the Remnants with your Ags upgrade. But at the late game, you kind of rely on Sleight of Fist to get safe damage out, especially if you're going to go for Divines. And again, at 33 minutes in, with no progress in map control, you start to wonder about FNATIC's draft, whether or not it will hold up.
RNG are starting to move in quite aggressively to the dire jungle of Flyby. He's spotted out. DJ looking for the block, but doesn't quite get it. Just throws out the Fisher. Now MP, though, moves in as the Life Stealer. Pop the Rage, and with that, we'll want to back up to the high ground. RNG basically do the exact same. In this game, still 1k net worth lead for RNG. We'll have a look at the win probability, and it is now 63% way of RNG. So it does go up just a little bit. Flyby. Still feeling very confident, not afraid to stand across from the river and just take a bit of damage. It's an Infest coming out. I believe it was onto Ice on that Batrider, and they're going to try and snipe somebody down at the bot lane. Monet going to get caught out. A nice play coming out from FNATIC, though. Can they burst the Sven down in time? It looks like they probably can, although no BKB is there. He's still getting dealt quite a bit of damage and does go down, though. Setsu now comes in with the Scythe of Ice. Ice Blast will connect as well, and that is a dead Life Stealer, as well as that Jab goes down as well. Ice, BKB's up and just runs, but he's going to keep running. He wanted that banner rune down at the bot lane. He does have DJ there just in case, but it looks like RNG are probably going to be able to take both these banner runes at the bot. And Arbed gonna slowly start making his way up to the top lane to be able to claim the other two, and will be able to do so.
I mean, you say slowly. He's pretty fast as that Ember, especially with his Ags. You know, those Remnants fly out like demons, so does clean that up fairly quick.
Might get caught though.
A bit of a rough stop.
Yules, Ice Blast, Ice Path as well, and he cops it.
Oh god.
With that Scythe device on Setsu, you can't afford to take that risky farm like that. I mean, I imagine he wasn't expecting Setsu to be there that quickly, but he was.
It's really not shaping up well for FNATIC. I've been saying this for a while, but we're at 35 minutes in. It's a 3k lead now for RNG, a solid lead for them now. And you're starting to lose effectiveness in your draft. Sure, you managed to find those solo pickoffs. Yes. It feels like we should have seen those 10 minutes earlier, when it would have been much more meaningful, when the impact of those deaths would have been greater. But now you're looking at the Sven, who's just about to finish an Assault Curious. You're looking at an OG who does have that Vice, and he's had that for a while, working into a Linken's, so you're not going to be able to lasso this guy anymore. And then the Roshan being taken for RNG as well, with no vision from FNATIC to spot this out.
RNG gonna be very happy with this Aegis. This is the first Roshan of the game as well, about 36 minutes in. It will officially be taken now by Setsu on that OD. I mean, looking at FNATIC, you know, with their heroes and itemization, John, do you think there's something in particular they could do to turn this around?
I mean, you could probably wait for MP to get even bigger on the Lifestealer. We have seen these guys really turn around once that Rage duration talent is up, especially as we approach that late game, right? BKB start to wear off, but Rage gets longer. That's going to be very hard to play around. One other way is, of course, through Abed. His itemization, his further itemization, would be interesting to see again. If he opts for the Remnant Charge, you're not going to get too much late game damage out, but if you go for the Sleight of Fists, then Divine Rapiers become a very clear option as one way.
Oh, bot lane. They will catch out Ice on that Bat Rider. Well, tried to run with that Firefly. RNG very happy with that kill, and it's always when they kill Ice they start spamming voice lines. It's absolutely fair enough, because he does the same. RNG going to start moving their way through the bot lane now, though there are no tier 2s available to be taken. Move their way to the mid lane as well. Looks like MP just slowly pushing out that top lane, but he's going to hide in the tree line for a bit. Now RNG do show themselves, and they do claim the mid tier 2, and it looks like they will try to force at least a buyback out of Ice. Lasso is still available if he does opt to back out, but now, well, they got the side device off onto the lifesteal, and that's a massive kill. MP, he's forced to buy back immediately, and now the overgrowth from Jabs, but the lasso coming out onto Monet. Can they burst down this Sven? He is still pretty darn tanky. He's going to turn around on MP. In fact, no, he'll go for a run. Now the Echo comes out. DJ trying to turn this around for FNATIC. Abed with that Remnant being thrown in, but Sanity's clip being dropped as well. He gets DJ and Jabs, and the rest of FNATIC just falling apart. Monet, just a massive amount of damage, and of course the OD as well. With that, they're going to be able to claim that mid-racks. FNATIC trying desperately to slow it down, but you just don't have the tools for it. Do they go down to the bot racks now? I mean, they are low in HP, but no, they'll go straight after DJ on that Earthshaker. Take him out. Abed is desperately trying to push out the creep wave down at the bot lane, but they'll just go for tier 4s instead. Sounds like a good trade for the side of RNG, and I think this might be GG, but they are going to try and defend one last time, it seems. They are taking that Ancient pretty darn fast, though. The T4's already gone. Ice will jump in. Doesn't have Lasso available, so just trying to juke them around. And Abed doing a fair bit of damage on that Ember. They will take down the AA, and now Setsu will lose the Aegis. Monet pops the BKB, but has no mana for the Stormhammer. Does finally get it. Now Setsu jumps in. Ice, he screws up the Lasso. The Linkers was available on the OD. Now the Astral comes out on Ice, but a surprise Linkers from Setsu ruins the Lasso from Ice, and the game's over. They call GG. RNG, though, with the surprise upset over FNATIC to start us off in this first series, essentially, of the group stages, John. And that'll mean FNATIC